holidays, my ladies and gentlemen. Get warm, cozy, moist. I'm Travis Terrell, Black Santa, and this is We Are Live.
Hello, indeed. It's We Are Live. Good morning, everybody. Chris Simmons, Travis Terrell. It's Midcoast Studio. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Midcoast Media. We stream live there and on Facebook 5 days a week. Excited to be here. Travis is settling in with his scarf. Scarvid.
Scarfed up?
Mm-hmm.
Scarfed in.
We're in the studio that Tech Electronics helped build. That's right. TechElectronics.com for more information. Travis, there's a camera right there.
Oh, hey!
That's connected to the Behringer. It's an X32. That's the
not
board.
the X32. I've heard so much about it.
Tech Electronics also hiring many tech-filled positions. Maybe you could get your network administrator on, Travis. We'll make that happen. The producer on the other side of the desk, not in Brooklyn, Mr. Chris Gardner. Good morning, Chris.
That was a weird intro. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hello, Gardner.
Remember, Marquise thought you were in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you call me Mr. Chris Gardner or something like that.
Gotcha. Well,
Normally
good morning.
You call me like Aunt Crystal or Stream Queen.
Yeah, that's true.
Murder King.
Yeah.
It just threw me off. Sorry. Good morning, gentlemen.
I'll
Thank
throw,
you.
I'll throw
Thank
a
you.
curveball here and there.
Yeah. And I swung and missed.
Why you gotta throw it up?
I'm not going to throw what up?
Throw it up.
Why would I throw anything in a studio? There's things around here.
I'm saying you're gonna throw
But
it up.
no, that's you don't just throw
okay,
things around.
sorry.
Good morning,
Oh,
Walnut.
there it is! Oh!
Nuts on wall.
Ow.
Nuts on wall.
Tendinitis in the
I
thumb.
can break it out. It's kind of that season.
Too much hitchhiking? What have you been doing?
Oh, I just moisturized my hands before the show started. with My lotion. It's got lavender and aloe in it.
Oh, I see you. Trying to get your black woman on. Okay.
Ooh, it smells so
You
good.
smell like a black woman?
What I like about this lotion is it's not too greasy, so it doesn't leave like a
oil
residue.
residue.
No
Yeah.
film?
Yeah, so it's nice.
I
I
like
like
that.
that. It's real good.
Big morning for you, huh?
Always is. Well, yeah, it always is.
Yeah, every morning, huh?
Yeah, I had a bad morning on Black Friday morning. It started off bad.
Why is that? How bad?
How bad was it? I was leaning. I had like a drawer open in the kitchen, and I was leaning up to grab something out of the cabinet, and I started leaning forward, and my momentum started taking me forward, and the drawer shut, and I smashed my penis
Oh, no. Oh.
on Black
Oh.
Friday morning. That's how everything began.
Oh. That is
It-
black
it,
indeed.
It hurt for a moment, but then I like pulled back, and it was like it was more
And
shocking
now I
than
do it.
anything.
Now I do it before work every day.
I had read somewhere that's how you get rid of the clap. Is that how that works?
don't
Is
think
that?
I think that was
that-
in a Vietnam movie.
oh,
They took
that's.
a wooden
I thought we
mallet.
read that
It was
somewhere.
a wooden mallet.
Oh,
and
okay.
So let me get this straight.
But
let
it
me get this
shocked me more than anything, and then I yelled at myself. You know, I'm in the apartment by myself, and I just yelled, "What the hell are you doing?" Like I was like just shocked that it even happened.
So let me get this straight. Something got stuck, and you ran away.
No,
I rest
was-
my case. I rest my case.
I'm not
His
sure.
man got stuck, and he ran away in shock and horror like a coward.
I
So
was-
now let's talk about some reality here, my friend.
Okay, I'll let you go and then I'll comment.
Because I'm just trying to figure it out. You got on me for running away from seeing something so chaotic, tragic, unfortunate. And your own self, the very being of your existence, gets trapped in a drawer, and all you can do is not try to help it, but you pull back in fear by running away. Explain yourself, Madame Gardner.
Okay, it's pretty simple here. I was still in the kitchen, so I didn't even leave the room. And not only that, basically, I pulled it back from being in pain.
Or
So
you,
I helped it.
or you could have just opened the drawer
But that's
and
not.
stood
what-
there like a man, like ah, but you didn't. You ran.
I'm not going to have you lecture me about being a man.
Fair.
So, I mean, I helped it. But it wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know why that happened. It must have been the angle
There
I
you
was
go.
leaning.
There you go. I see you
No,
playing.
I know myself,
I
and
see
it
you
just
playing.
shouldn't happen.
Maybe
That's why I think it surprised me more than anything.
maybe all this exercising you've been doing has stretched old Daddy Long Legs out.
No, I'm Irish. That's not.
I don't know.
It shouldn't happen.
When was the last time you dipped it in some Polynesian sauce, if you know what I mean?
Oh no.
I don't
know
know
what
what you
that
mean.
means.
Yeah, what do you
Yeah,
mean?
You know, the last time you
Like I
you
had
know you put your boat stick in the water.
the boat stick
Yeah,
in
what's
the water, like a paddle,
Yeah.
an oar.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Like in you guys' head, like, is this the ideal way we'd spend the next 40 minutes? Because I don't see this ending, this conversation.
Well, it was just an
Just in
accident.
your head.
I accidentally smashed my penis in the kitchen
And
drawer.
Chris
Am
acts
I
like he gets-
complaining? I'm not
I'm
complaining.
about to say you usually get to be the one that talks about, Long John Silver.
I think I've
No,
never
and
talked about it.
I'm not
ever.
talking about
Often.
that, and I've made that clear. This is why I was surprised it happened.
Okay.
He
It
made
had
sure
to
to say
be.
he's Irish.
But it's a pleasant surprise.
not
It's a pleasant
said-
surprise. The only way that
No,
you
there
can
was
get your
it wasn't pleasant at all. It was just it hurt.
I'm saying, but most people, if you didn't have something to work with,
I think it was just the angle.
okay, I'm trying
He's
to give you a
making it quite clear.
I'm just
I'm surprised I didn't smash a testicle. How about
okay.
that?
Oh damn. Oh. Okay.
Is that better?
Nah, not really.
No, it wouldn't have been better. That would have hurt more probably. I was telling the story to someone the other day about how I hit myself in the groin while driving once because I dropped a cigarette on my crotch.
Mm.
And my immediate instinct was to smack it
Okay.
to put it out, and I hit myself very hard while driving on the highway.
Mm.
I thought I was going to have to pull over on the shoulder.
Mm. So it wasn't a Black Friday. It was more of a pinkish throbbing Friday.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Mm.
It got better.
Okay.
It was all right.
Okay.
I actually went out to Best Buy that day.
Look at you.
What'd you get?
I
Did you get a new CD Trapper Keeper?
But
Remember when
is
those
that the
people
same
break
thing?
into cars
Yeah.
to steal those?
No. You were gonna need those one day. You were gonna need lots of those one day.
Wow, that was
remember?
such a thing. What a mess that was.
Yeah.
CD Trapper Keepers. What the?
Remember your CD collection used to be on display in the living room?
Right. who the fuck were we to just showcase our musical taste? What kind of pretentious shit was that?
Oh, it's
We
like
all
it was
did it.
vinyl.
People still have vinyl in there.
But
Yeah,
still,
but with the
People don't have
with
like
the
a
CD.
scroll.
with the CD, you're just like,
You
oh,
could see
you
the
have that?
label
Yeah, it's kind
on
of
the
showy,
side.
kind of braggy.
Like with the vinyl, you're not necessarily going to.
You got to flip through it. Now, vinyl is a little bit more subtle braggy. Like, I mean, those old things over there, and you go through people's collections. But we used to have the CDs, and we had like the towers.
Yeah, the
Towers. Who the fuck were we to have CD towers in our
They
house?
used to build entertainment centers with towers attached to them.
Attached to
They're
them.
custom wood.
Yes.
steel, like
Yes.
expensive. Like
Yes.
handmade.
Yes. Remember, those things used to be like an extra $40 to $50 in the regular
Yeah.
desk.
Yeah, it was a part of it.
Well, for an extra $45, you can get the CDs display holder.
That's going to come
Well,
in handy
shit,
for
well,
the rest of my life.
Yes. What an awful. I want to go after the furniture community. Like, we're going after that ass.
Okay.
This is bullshit.
Yeah,
Don't feed our egos.
that's who we should be going after these days.
Yeah,
The furniture.
I
community.
just try to pick low hanging fruit. I'm trying to get a win. I'm just trying to find where we
Okay.
can get a win anywhere.
might be
and
one.
I feel like
Tune-up
this-
fight.
one.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Boxers have done
Thank
it for
you.
years.
Thank you. It's supposed to be our Wyoming. It's supposed to be that first game of the year. Stephen F. Austin. It's supposed to be a low-hanging fruit. So we got to take our shot.
Okay.
The furniture people.
Well, let's go after.
Who the fuck were we?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit that you listen to Celine Dion and Boys to Men. Who
I
cares?
went to a Boys to Men concert.
They are a very lovely group.
That one guy made it Boys to Men Day here.
He did.
Was it
Louis Reed.
Yeah, the president of the Board of Aldermen.
Oh, that
Boys
makes
to
sense.
Men Day.
Yeah. Why?
Because they're not from St. Louis.
Louis Reed?
That Louis Reed got himself tickets for that move.
That might have been
Is
it.
my guess.
Smart
allegedly.
play. Smart play.
Hey, how do I get tickets?
Man,
We'd
I
love a
wish
declaration.
I wish we had a Rihanna day.
Tell you where she won't be playing. Busch Stadium.
No. True.
It's the way
Louis
it ought to
Reed,
be.
he really likes the song He likes a Rolling Stones song. I can't remember which one it is now.
Brown sugar.
Sympathy for the Devil.
Okay.
That's the one he likes. I found that out in a random conversation with him once.
Were you drinking at the time?
No, I wasn't. I have
Gotcha.
met him drunk before, though.
Oh boy.
I've heard that story.
Yeah. Whoops. But I think I had meatball on my shirt at the time, too.
Of course.
That'll
And
do
this
it.
was when I was eating a steak. Drunk.
That's what I do love about your bar conversations. When we went to Eric Messersmith and Christina Coleman's little get together before they departed for LA, you would converse with the many media personalities of St. Louis. All of them had a cocktail in their hand, and you're just there with a Subway sandwich and a glass of water.
Mm-hmm.
And like they are full bore into this conversation with you while you're enjoying your Subway sandwich and glass of water.
That's my life. It's my life now.
Like, I think Gardner's talking to the anchor of the NBC affiliate in St. Louis, eating what looks like a salami sandwich
Oh, I love salami.
and distilled water.
It's usually water, coffee, Sprite, or Dr. Pepper. It's normally what I drink throughout the day.
Very easy.
When do you go astray
From
from those four?
Do you throw some tea in there from time to time? Are you a tea person, Gardner?
not really. I tried tea.
Are you-
You know what I would really like is a tea that's carbonated. Because sometimes I crave the carbonation as a refreshant, and I've had like a sparkling tea before.
I have
Is
as
it
well.
Lipton? Maybe.
I think Lipton does make
Lipton
a brand.
makes a raspberry
They
one.
do.
that
I think
like.
you're on the right
I
path.
do like
If
that
anyone's
one.
just joining, we broke down Gardner slamming his penis in a drawer for the first 13 minutes. We've now moved on to sparkling tea. Sorry, just a quick update. Quick update.
And Travis is now taking on big furniture.
Yes,
For
and we are
making CD
taking that
towers.
for CD towers. We're a little too important. And
Who
you
the
know what?
fuck did you think we were? Huh?
This-
Big furniture. Why do you think we needed a CD tower? And then to even feed our ego even further, you created room for our DVD players. Why? We had DVD display towers as well. Yes, you watched The Rock and Little Women. So what? Stop throwing it in our face. I blame you, Big Furniture. You're racist as hell.
Oh, God.
Okay, I mean, maybe that last one we'll edit. We'll edit that last part
No.
out.
We're live.
Yeah, this is a live show.
boy.
The show is called We Are Live, Travis. Yeah. Nice move there, buddy.
I'll tell you what, guys.
Okay. Oh no, I don't like this.
Yeah.
No, I'm
You
stopping
can't-
you. We're
yeah.
gonna
I was
stop
gonna
you.
say, don't let it-
no.
Wait, what?
Don't let the backup quarterback call the play.
Yeah.
Offensive coordinator. How about those polls?
Calm down, Jim Sorgi.
He's got his clipboard and his backwards hat on.
Yeah.
He's ready to rock.
Let Peyton Manning handle this,
Yeah,
okay?
Go ahead.
Just stand there with the yeah.
Okay. I'll go back and
Headset,
get my,
like you're actually talking to
Okay,
him.
I'll go back to being my Chase Daniel.
Okay.
All right.
Best job in sports.
Yes, we have some. We had a number of melees yesterday. We put 3 out total.
Okay.
You want to see some
All
results?
right. What's the first melee?
Here's the first one. Is Joe Biden's No Malarkey campaign slogan a good catchphrase? Yes, 17%. No, 83% said no.
You know why? Because you young people use Twitter, and the only ones who knew how to vote. Old people are absolutely loving the no malarkey, and they're not on Twitter because they believe it is malarkey.
Are you old now?
I feel like I'm falling into that category.
You just sounded like it.
He
That's
I
bypassed,
kinda-
he bypassed the Tom Joyner cruise, and he's going straight to the BB King Memorial.
Yeah,
Cruise.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I
Are you
like.
going to start telling me things that Onion Horton used to say?
Look, I think Joe Biden is stepping into his old man shit. So I enjoy the fact that Joe Biden, he's telling you that marijuana is a gateway drug, and he's got a bus tour called No Malarkey. My boy Joe Biden is stepping into being an old white man, and he's just figured out how to win this presidency. I got to out old white man Donald Trump. And that's not a bad strategy.
Actually, he would win that battle.
Yes.
As a-
You know who's a couple good ones? Earth, Wind, and Fire.
See? You can't be as racist as Trump. You just gotta flirt on the fringe.
You gotta
So that's
be
what-
as they call it, the casual.
Right. He went.
I like to
too-
say
Howie
gentle.
Leonard doesn't do all that celebrating.
See, that'll work.
And he wears New Balances now.
It's like
Joe
you gotta cater to the white people alums of Webster Groves.
Okay. That's who
Like
you're
they
targeting?
have been around black people, but they still can't act appropriately around black people. That's what Joe is going for.
They still view black people as assets that
Yes.
make their team win
Yes,
state.
exactly. So they're not totally racist because they see blacks as a means to justify their ends.
Who did they have?
Jeremy Macklin, first one that
that's
comes up.
That was
that's
Kirkwood.
Well, that's same area, same type of people.
No,
the-
Webster had
the kid-
Adrian Claiborne as
kid
Lambert.
from-
Ah, that's right.
But for
Tampa.
basketball, was that Johnny Parker?
For Webster, yes,
Okay.
yes,
Maybe that's what I'm
that's who it is. See,
Well, then the kid that went to SLU briefly.
yeah, Cartier Gordon.
That was one of his pit stops.
Oh, Webster.
Yeah. So see what I mean? So they're willing to let blacks maybe be at the pool past 8.
Okay.
Speaking of the pool,
Now you're,
Joe Biden has lots of stories about the pool.
Oh no, not what, Joe?
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again.
Oh.
They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
so you think that guy can be president, huh?
I do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I actually do.
Yeah.
Have you not watched a press conference from this current president in the last 3.5 years?
Let me tell you something.
That's not
I'm
the
not,
worst.
I'm not arguing for coherence here. I'm
No,
not
we
arguing
cannot.
for anything of normality or anything of
Okay.
of the non-political progressive anything. Trump is going to spill his guts if they start arguing live. Trump is going to destroy that guy. That guy
Yeah, but
can't get
here's the
through
thing,
a pool
it does-
story.
it doesn't
He
matter,
can't get
though.
through a pool story.
But it doesn't
I
matter.
think I disagree.
Because
I
he
don't know.
lost every single debate he was in with the person.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
But to you or to the people living in
No.
trailers?
Well, people living in trailers
But
don't know any
th-
better
but-
anyway.
But
They
they
voted
don't,
him in?
They
here's the
don't know any
thing.
better just because
They
they
don't
voted him
matter.
in. There you go.
I'm
they're
telling you.
they're not
thing.
going to open one day decide, you know what?
They're not targeting those people. They
Exactly.
don't. Honestly, they don't care about
Yeah,
those
they
people
don't.
because
The-
they're not going to change the vote. There are people that can change the vote.
If he's
Joe
up
Biden
there
wins by 5
stammering-
points.
If he's up there stammering, there's going to be people that were like,
But I'm
this
curious.
is our guy.
But I'm curious
Yeah.
as to people have said that this is their guide for the person that's currently the
Well,
occupant of the White House.
but you- what
so
you're-
and
I-
he's
but
done
I'm
more than
agreeing
just
with what you said.
stammering. What I'm saying is,
But he's
you
at least
say-
got the crazy factor. He's got
no.
the,
But I'm saying is you
That's
can't.
not a good thing.
Like
Did
how
I say it was?
You sound like you're endorsing it.
Yeah.
You piece of shit. Oh, hey, we've got news out of Webster. Jamie Moyer's 54 years a Webster grad, and he says his dad would have voted for Obama for a third term. if they
There
had
it is.
allowed
That's it. He's going for the Joe Biden is going for the Get Out dad. That's the dad from Get Out. Get Out. That's what he's doing.
Is that
He-
Bradley Whitford?
Yes, it is the amazing Bradley Whitford. And he that's what Joe Biden. That's his lane right now. So it clearly. Okay, is he the world's most articulate
Interview
kid?
yourself.
But
Interview yourself.
Is he? No, Joe Biden is not the world's most articulate kid. Is he a white man that loves the white? He is. Do white people love white men who white? They do. Is he stepping into it? He is. Could it win the presidency? Very likely.
I mean, I'd be worried if that guy was my Uber driver.
Maybe that-
If he's stumbling through that story,
But you've had a stumbling drunk for the last 4 years. So what difference does it make
I
if
don't think he
Grandpa
drinks.
comes home after a
that's
little?
even more
after
unfortunate.
that. Well, at least we had a fallback.
that's when
Wait, you're
tell,
sober right now?
That's when you tell
Oh.
someone I'm like, oh, you probably don't remember that, and they're like, I remember everything. I'm like, you should probably say you don't remember that
Yeah.
because
Trust me, this is your defense.
yeah.
Go with this.
No, this is look. I said this yesterday. Joe Biden. This is not the play I would have made, but I get it. I understand why he's stepping more into his whiteness. America loves it right now. Look, he's just taking bits and qualities of Trump that the people do like. He's putting it inside of his own little stump speech. He's being awkward Joe. It's like let Joe be Joe.
And, well, that is him. We've
That's the
seen
play.
him before.
You can't get Joe.
number of
Joe's not going to
times.
be as articulate as Obama on social or racial issues. He's going to be Uncle White Dude. He's the guy that everyone really does have in their family, especially white people, when they got the guy like he's becoming more progressive, but he still thinks that homosexuality is a sin, but he won't say it out loud. So he's
know
the
if I
guy
go that
that's
far with him.
Well, I just think Joe Biden is good enough for a lot of nervous white people in America.
I like that. I
He's
like that
good enough for
campaign
nervous
slogan.
white people.
I like that campaign slogan better than no malarkey.
Yeah,
He's good enough.
He's good enough for nervous white people in America.
All right. There's your first melee question.
Okay, what's number
Second one. With the since dissolved Eddie Bauer Ford Explorer partnership in mind, which of these pairings involving a business with St. Louis ties and an automobile would you most like to see?
two? Oh, I like this.
8% went with Build-A-Bear and Beetle. So the Beetle Build-A-Bear.
Okay.
24%.
Build-A-Beetle.
Build-A-Beetle. Purina and Wrangler. So the Purina Wrangler.
Right.
28%, the Emos Fiat 500. And with 40%, the Vest Charger, or as Travis said in the office yesterday, the Vest Charger.
Yes.
Whoops.
My bad.
So Vest Charger wins it with 40%.
No surprises here, right?
Emos Fiat, though, I think if they went to that as their delivery car, would be freaking dope.
Oh, that's
a nice
interesting.
cream,
Yeah.
creamish white, green, and red vehicle with the cream interior with the green and red stripe.
What's that? Chris is making faces.
Not a cream talk.
Well, it kind of got like the Provel look.
Oh, okay.
The Provel
The
look.
cheese
That's
look.
the cheese look. So that's why you would have that. I think it'd be a pretty badass Fiat.
Okay.
All right. But I'm thinking of
The Vest Charger.
Orange Whistle
Oh,
Charger.
you're making it orange. I
Yeah,
like that.
or like the got to do the orange.
Will it have
Oh,
bubbles
I went with
on
the
it?
red cream chart.
That'd be not bad. Not bad. Strawberry
'cause-
Charger.
I want bubbles on the paint job
Oh.
because it's the billion bubble beverage.
Mm-hmm.
See, if we was billionaires, we would know what to do. They not billionaire, right? We would be good billionaires.
I
Would
don't
you?
know about that.
That'd be fun. But this idea would be so cool. We'd be like viral.
It
there's no
would,
doubt.
but if I had $1 billion, I'd be financing National Treasure 3.
No, I understand that. But think about the cool things we could do with a Emos Fiat.
Were you talking about being like film financier Adam Dunn?
No.
Is he financing films now?
He financed an Oscar-winning film,
Which one?
Dallas Buyers Club.
I didn't know that.
He invested in that because I remember watching Adam Dunn, the guy whose nickname's Donk
Yeah.
for donkey, walking down the red carpet, and
That's
he
weird.
was part of an investment
I
group
had
that
no
put
idea
money
about
into
that.
Dallas Buyers
I
Club.
would absolutely be a film financier if I could.
Yeah.
That would be my jam.
I was thinking about National Treasure Mound City this morning while I was smoking.
Jesus, I don't want to.
Because I was trying to figure out, in the original National Treasure, Nicolas Cage goes, I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Great line.
What would he steal from St. Louis? And I was trying to figure out what that would be.
Easy.
The arch?
It would be King Louis statue.
The apotheosis?
Inside King Louis statue.
Okay. That's how so I was trying to think of things
Yeah.
that he would, or in the second one, he kidnapped the president. So would he kidnap Mayor Lyda Crewson?
For the
It's very regional.
secrets
film
of St.
you've
Louis.
got here.
Well, it's National Treasure, Mound City.
Okay.
So it's St. Louis specific.
Okay.
So that's what I was thinking about while smoking.
Gotta steal the Stanley Cup.
Oh, that could be good, actually. Not bad, Travis.
Thank you. Guys, I have been on a
And
storm lately creatively.
And you
There's
know-
a storm, my friend.
you know what we could do advertising wise is get that Emos Fiat 500 in the film as well.
Boom. I've been an oracle of creative genius of recent.
Really?
I had to go to a Black Mizzou alumni event yesterday. It was our meeting before the end of the year, kind of do a little wrap up as to what we need to get accomplished before 2020 when we had to set up our upcoming karaoke night
Nice.
Oh.
in January. And we needed a title. And everybody, I'm in the room of attorneys and doctors and lawyers, and it was the international screenwriter, yes, Travis Terrell,
Uh-huh.
that came up with the title to our event called the Roaring Twenties.
Oh,
That's right. Our January karaoke event is going to be called the Roaring Twenties.
why?
Roar as in tigers.
Oh,
But
okay.
also referencing the Roaring Twenties. But we're going into 2020. Huh?
Oh, okay.
Ha Hey!
It was more clever than I thought.
Yeah! Ha ha! Hey!
No, that's good.
No, thank you. Oracle.
What did the lawyers and others
Oh, they
say? Titans of industry.
they were all like, "Hey, we need you." I was like, "My friend, I'm sorry. My heart goes out to Midcoast Media and my babies that we are alive.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to be a part of this train, hit up CRDenman at
That's not-
gmail84.org.
That's not how it works.
Gmail 84.
That'd be an interesting website.
We're now going to create that website, Travis.
Thank you.
Gmail 84.
I don't know what it is, guys, but
Yeah, you're on a roll.
I think Papa Bear's got a hot hand.
Bet.
And he's gonna keep shooting.
But we were talking about that Eddie Bauer Ford Explorer. I went down a small rabbit hole.
Did you
yesterday.
not? Please tell me you have photos.
This is Eddie Bauer.
Look at Eddie Bauer. We were talking about doing an origin
Sturdy
story about Eddie Bauer.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about doing a campaign, a national commercial campaign that we were going to film and pitch to the Eddie Bauer people because Gardner just recently bought a Eddie Bauer parka.
Yeah, I look like an explorer.
Now, this is the first time we've ever seen Eddie Bauer,
Yeah, here he is again.
but like no one, like we didn't know, but we were saying that Gardner can be now the older Eddie Bauer as he's traversing
Well,
through the cold streets of St. Louis, but he's kept warm by his parka made from the Eddie Bauer Company. I'm just
He's
saying, I think
kinda-
we have an idea. And then with my explosion of creative juice,
Uh-huh. Seems to be rolling still.
I'd say we do it.
Okay. We can make something happen with the what juice?
Creativitas.
Ah.
It's Greek for creative.
I didn't know you were multilingual.
I am international.
Yeah, well, okay, that makes sense now then. So Eddie Bauer was a dropout, but made the sporting goods store because he was into outdoor stuff, and then just kept going. And I guess once got hypothermia because he was wearing wool, and kind of started, hey, I need something different, and that's apparently kind of how like a patterned or down jacket something developed. So I guess he was at the forefront of some of the styles we see today, even though their name gets lost in the North Faces, the Patagonias these days. Remember Eddie Bauer. Bring Eddie Bauer back. I think they make some good stuff. And you know where he was born, Travis?
Where was he born?
Right outside Puget Sound.
Shut up. He's a Puget or lose it guy.
He's a Puget or lose it guy.
Makes sense.
okay.
It all comes back.
I see. I knew it was something about that Eddie Bauer.
Yeah.
Now, we asked another question while in the office yesterday, though, because we were very excited to talk about Eddie Bauer, but we asked, is he as good as his younger brother, Jack?
Jack, yeah. Which Bauer is more of a badass, Jack Bauer or Eddie Bauer? I don't have an answer to that. My grandpa would say Jack Bauer. Grandpa loved 24.
But your grandpa's an outdoorsman as well.
Bob Evans?
He would also
Well,
enjoy
I mean,
a nice warm parka from Eddie Bauer.
he would when he's always getting the neighbor's leaves out of his yard. It
Okay.
really annoys the piss out of
He
him.
doesn't like having the leaves
No.
from the neighbors
Or
in
those-
his yard
What are those little balls, the little spikes on them that,
that
come out of
fall
the tree?
from the sky
Yeah,
often.
from the trees.
From the trees.
Yeah.
Gumballs.
That can
Gumballs, yeah.
often, well,
Those drive him nuts.
I understand why they
And
would
it's
drive
not
him.
his tree, it's the neighbor's tree, so he's always like blowing it into their yard.
Oh,
Get this-
that seems pretty petty, but
So-
okay.
Well, I mean, he's 88.
I realized, and the leaves are what's bothering him the
It
most
bothers
these days.
him,
Okay,
yes.
Okay. The
Keep
leaves
it out of his yard.
The man has
If you
managed
have
to
a
live.
tree like that, you got to take care of it.
Just saying, he managed to live 88 years, doing a good job of taking care of himself.
Yeah.
Feel like he may not need to be bothered with such trivial matters like leaves because things like the wind can often contribute to those things.
Yeah.
Instead of humans.
Well,
so it's just something to
Get
consider.
out there and clean up your tree.
Okay. All right.
Clean up your tree.
Okay.
But he liked 24 a lot. He had a quintuple bypass surgery
Right.
when 24 was going on, and the anesthesia kind of lingers on for a day even after the surgery.
Oh, he should not have watched television.
And he was out of the surgery, but the next day was when 24 was on, but he was still out of it. So when he came out of it, he thought it was the day before and that he was going to see 24 at least that night while he was in the hospital. And that's when I went out to my mom, like, what do? He just had a quintuple bypass. We can't tell him 24 isn't going to be on. I don't know. That's not good. Like, you don't want to do that to a guy that just had quintuple bypass surgery. I can't even remember what we did. But I was very nervous I'm like, I can't tell Grandpa that he missed 24. It was on yesterday.
Oh, my.
Can you imagine telling someone that just, they had to have emergency heart surgery? I was like, Jesus. But we got through it.
Maybe that's how DVR was invented.
For people like that?
Yeah,
And
maybe
that would have been very helpful then.
Maybe the doctor, who was taking care of your grandfather, was walking by while you had this conundrum. He's like, oh, my God, patients across America are missing their favorite episodes because they have to go in for surgery and they come out and they miss it. Now they're screwed.
They miss a day
They
because
miss
of the
a day and then they
anesthesia?
end up back in the hospital because they're so stressed.
Yeah.
If only there was a device that we could use to record it, and therefore they can watch it at their own convenience without having to miss it.
The DVR is born.
Boom.
So Jack Bauer or Eddie Bauer, which one?
I go Eddie Bauer.
I go Eddie Bauer by a nose. Jack Bauer did try to say the very first black president.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So-
See, you have that perspective. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Something to think about. And Black Herrera's going to be out the chain, dog. 2 more months, Chris. 2 more months. Black Herrera, dog. It's going to be good.
Speaking of off the chain, Gastro Pit this Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Stop by our friend Neil Hollinger, Amber Clear, and Ricky Royal on the bill. Free comedy at 8:30 on the Hill. They've got a delicious barbecue menu and then happy hour specials after the show. 8:30 start. Stop by, see some great comedy. It's on the Hill. It's convenient, right by 44. And there's a Quick Trip nearby if you need any gas or anything on the way there. So stop by again, 8:30 p.m. this Thursday. And let's pack the place. Come on out, hang out, have some fun, everybody.
I have one more poll question.
Go on.
Excuse me. Here's your final poll question from yesterday.
Okay.
Should the state of Missouri hold an annual festival every December 2nd and 3rd to commemorate Ivan Browning's failed earthquake prediction from 1990? Hashtag Ivan Browning Days. 25% no. A resounding 75% said yes to Ivan Browning Days, a state festival.
Now, Mr.
Okay, I was waiting for someone to talk.
Mr. Browning, of course, made the famous declaration
False
that
prediction.
a prediction
Yeah.
that an earthquake was going to take place on the 3rd.
It was around the 2nd or 3rd, apparently. And actually, here you go.
The triggering of large earthquakes is done by high tidal forces. That is, high tidal forces have been shown to trigger large earthquakes. There is a probability, an enhanced probability of a large earthquake along all faults in the 30 to 60 degrees north latitude range around December the 2nd. My observations, unconfirmed by scientific papers, is that in a fault like the New Madrid fault, in which I have been informed the fault is 20 years overdue for a Richter 6 plus, I would put the probability at 50%.
Happy Ivan Browning Day,
I
everyone!
give
Why
him
did
credit.
why did he make an unsubstantiated thing sound formal? He said unconfirmed by scientific
That's what
papers,
Unconfirmed by
but
scientific
he still tried to
papers.
make it sound as if
And then
that was
also
a
said-
worthy piece of evidence.
So, like, he's someone predicting what's going to happen with an earthquake with no background in seismology, who also said during that clip,
Well, mathmology.
I've been informed.
People say. People say.
And this is what we ran with.
People are saying.
Yeah. This is what we ran. It's been 29 years.
So
since
isn't
this
this
was supposed to? This been
this
29
isn't a
years.
poor reflection on Browning. This is a poor reflection on St. Louis media.
Not just
Well, I
St.
don't
Louis
know.
media.
It was all
You
over
have to understand. Yeah, it was not just St. Louis.
So it's a poor reflection of the media in general.
Yeah.
Running with this story
Yeah.
when the man admits in said interviews none of this is substantiated with any scientific evidence.
Well, but he kept reiterating his prediction, and there was other people involved that kind of backed him up.
Were they also seismologists?
This person was in charge of like the earthquake center at Southeast Missouri State University.
Now, was it one of those situations where he saw, oh, this guy's getting a ton of media attention. Here's an opportunity for us to put our name out there.
I don't know, but I know the guy retired or quit or resigned
Disgracefully,
from his position
as he should have.
after
I'm sure he was probably also asked to maybe step away.
His name was I don't know where he is or if he's alive. Dave Stewart was the gentleman's name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, great ball player.
Yes, and then a GM one point at.
I didn't say great GM.
Arizona Diamondbacks. No, but no, that's what we ran with.
So y'all been putting crazy white men on television who can just spout off about anything without facts or evidence for a long time now.
Yeah.
So this isn't new.
It was 29 years ago today. It was earthquake. It was Quake Day in New Madrid,
that
Missouri.
old white man on TV talking shit with no evidence, and not one person in the American mainstream media thought, yeah,
Well, no,
we
there
should put a
was-
microphone back in his face, guys.
I mean, it's a little hyperbole there because there were people that were saying, "What are we doing here?" There were
Okay,
quite a few
okay,
people doing
Okay,
that,
okay.
but it created a hysteria. So much hysteria to a point that the United States government and one of their organizations commissioned a report following all of this to see what happened, why it happened, and how do we not allow it to happen again. I ended up browsing that report on Saturday. It was part of my on and off rabbit hole all Saturday, the Ivan Browning one. And what's in there, in that report, are headlines from various news organizations, different newspapers throughout the country, local, regional, national. So I thought, why not take a look at a few of these headlines to see how this was being covered? Because you're going after the media, right?
Right.
And rightfully so in regards.
Right.
There were people that were saying, what are we doing here? But they weren't getting, there wasn't clickbait, I guess. It wasn't called that back then. They weren't getting the headlines, the reads maybe like some others were.
Right.
Okay, so here's the first one. This is from the Post-Dispatch.
Okay.
And it's quake prediction taken seriously. And this is how it kind of started taking on a life of its own, is that he's making this prediction, and then someone, you can see on the screen, David Stewart, director of the Center for Earthquake Studies at Southeast Missouri State University. So that's going to hold some gravitas with it, right?
What Dr. Browning is doing cannot be explained merely by chance. Although his accuracy is not 100%, his methodology, look how I got through that word, does seem to be promising and worthy of serious and thorough consideration.
This is because the self-proclaimed climatologist, Dr. Ivan Browning, had said he had predicted other things, and this gentleman apparently didn't really go into it to see how he did it or if he was accurate or not. So when a gentleman like this, with a title like that, starts backing up a claim that seems ridiculous, you can see how it starts to blossom, right?
Dave thought this was an outstanding opportunity for him to potentially be promoted from director at the Center of Earthquake Studies at SEMO to a shot at the big time. This was his opportunity to get out in front of a major, what year was this again?
1990.
And so was it the 89 earthquake in San Francisco?
Mm-hmm.
Well, 6.5?
89, yeah.
Okay, so the earthquake movement.
Right, and I think Browning said that he had predicted that in some way.
Why did Earthquake the wrestler look like he was
Is
ready?
he still
Like
alive?
he was like a diesel mechanic.
I think it's safe to say that considering how
probably not.
soon wrestlers died.
Why
he's
did he
not
what,
alive.
Chris?
He looked like a diesel mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, most certainly. He looked like he could have been in the movie Over the Top.
Yeah.
If he's
Yeah.
still alive, I would love to reach out
Like
to
why
David
was he?
Stewart.
Why was he Earthquake? And
Because
not
when he walked around, he was an
and
earthquake.
not Rest Stop Wrangler.
I don't know. Earthquakes are big. You got to remember, again, it was big in the pop culture.
If
at
he's
that
still
time.
alive, we could get him to Ivan Browning Days, the
I'm gonna
festival.
guess
I
he
feel
would,
like-
I'm gonna guess he would have done a
By the way.
speaking tour at the Funny Bone by now.
I feel
If he
like
was
the
alive.
'89
Every fucking
earthquake.
wrestler's on comedy tours.
I feel like Ivan Browning and David Stewart were really, really immersed into earthquake culture around that time, which would make sense because we had a lot of earthquakes in parts of California and across the country in the late '80s, early '90s. We even had like
See why there's sweep stories on this now.
yes. So I get why that was. Earthquakes were the craze. So this David Stewart at SEMO saw this as an opportunity to jump on the train, and he attached himself
There's-
to the wrong horse.
Now, I'll get to another headline here in a moment. I have several here that Tim will say, well, Gardner might believe. There are things I might believe or wonder about, but I would not call them a certainty or fact, and I would like to explore them more. They interest me, like my crystals.
Yeah,
I would not expect anyone to believe them just because I do,
no.
right?
No.
It's something I'm interested in, but I'm not going to say it's a fact or this or that. And I would expect no one to do so. Remember that as we get to another headline momentarily. There's a few before that, though. This one, officials heed quake warning. Now you start to see the hysteria because
Shay
underneath
Lee
that headline.
Howard of the news leader.
Yeah, but look at the the sub-headline.
Oh my, Springfield could expect wave of tremors refugees.
So you see the phrasing
that
that's
is
starting to be used.
completely irresponsible. Holy hell.
So this is from the Springfield News Leader.
Oh my God, what a horrible thing. What the hell?
So you see how this is starting to go, right? And then go to USA Today because
Okay,
we've
now-
talked to
You
people.
got to USA Today?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Oh, here before I get to that, this is a picture of Quake Day. They're selling T-shirts and all that. There were
Fam.
news trucks from around the
man,
country in New Madrid, Missouri that day.
Oh man.
Fam.
They had that, and guess who else was taking
The
advantage of
Chamber
Quake
of
Day?
Commerce. Did you see that? Oh, wow.
Churches were taking. Religion was taking advantage.
These are
of
good
Quake
signs. These are good signs. So, eternity preparedness kits available here. Inquire within.
Eternity prepared.
Give praise to our God who can shake the earth if he wants to. Thank you, Pastor Jerry Kosler. Earthquake Survival Revival. Sandywood Baptist Church.
Survival revival.
Special singing. November 25th through ? Oh. Various evangelists. Various evangelists.
There you go.
7 p.m. nightly, everyone come.
And then the other one,
I can't read that one.
New
Savior
Madrid,
City Fast.
Savior City, fast and repent.
Yeah.
So church got now. This became an industry for some because like outdoor stores and that were making their own earthquake survival kits, and people were just.
Buying them up.
You should have seen some
Shut
of the
your
newspaper
face.
advertisements that were going on.
Shut up.
Like every local.
oh, so
place.
the hype
Right.
built.
The hype built.
real
It
deal.
was turned into a money-making venture for lots of different companies. It was turned.
What
I mean,
kind of 9/11 shit is this?
That's what I'm saying. Look at what I mean. Religion was able to do it. We saw what just by Jack would have been down there. We know Beebs would have been down there selling T-shirts for
Right.
Quake Day.
10 feet that way.
So you're selling apparel. Some people were having parties, end of the world parties, advertising that. Bars were having specials, restaurants, everybody. And then, of course, the survival kit
It should
industry.
be a holiday, man. He's right. This definitely should be a holiday.
So then it goes to a story in USA Today. Now check out this headline because we've talked to people, and I don't remember who they were, but they've said that they had school off that day, right?
The movie Tremors came out the same year, says the Black Sheep.
There we go.
The Tremors came out. And there's another
There we
thing to
go.
get to
That's
as well.
So smart marketing. That's brilliant marketing.
6 years old and scared.
Oh, come on.
So now
Carolyn PCC. Carolyn Pacici.
from New Madrid, Missouri, Carolyn Pesci of USA Today. Camden Alliger went into the principal's office crying. I dreamed me and my mom were sitting down and the earthquake started shaking everything, said Camden 8.
So I'm
Travis Brown is afraid of flooding because he can't swim. David Spencer worries about taking care of his pregnant mother. Tabitha Clark says she doesn't want to die.
Oh my God, what is happening?
Go on, Chris.
I'm remembering the 1993 scare. I don't remember this one.
Superintendent, I'm sorry.
Oh, so I took it down.
Oh,
What
that's
was
all
it?
good. I was going to say Superintendent Robert Payne says the entire county school district is prepared for a quake with a disaster plan that went into the works last February. So people are lying. You ain't had no freaking prepared plan for no disaster.
Oh, the schools went nuts. You should have seen some of the B-roll footage
Are
from
you serious?
newscasts. Yeah, schools went nuts. They're doing earthquake and like not even schools, but like the emergency departments of cities and counties are doing. They were doing like mock earthquake drills and everything.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad you brought this story
Okay.
up. And 'cause
I got more headlines here,
I didn't
too.
realize this existed because the way older people tell it, this generation is when we're all doom and gloom. You millennials, you're the ones who are all doom and gloom. You asses were sitting up here selling. Are y'all out of y'all mind? Y'all was causing complete mass hysteria on some bullshit. The man literally said in an interview, none of this is confirmed by any scientific data, and you idiots ran out like it was truly the end of the world. Every single one of you morons.
This is why seismologists were trying to ignore it at first because they're like, "There's no good for us."
Because if you give it any credence,
Because- right,
I get why
it's-
David Stewart was fired.
It's like arguing with climate change deniers these days. It's like
Right,
you don't. The arguments aren't about science or anything.
right.
And it's like, oh yeah, well, everything goes in cycles. We've been having climate. Yes, we do. And if you look at the science for that, you would understand why those cycles happen. There are explanations for that, which is never brought up in those discussions. So this is why you try to avoid it because it
Unbelievable.
leads to this.
So y'all up here,
Now-
y'all sharing fake bullshit. Okay.
Now we know how I am. I'm a weirdo. I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo.
What are we getting here?
Right? Okay. I like my crystals.
You do.
But you know what? I'm not in charge of like an earthquake center for a university, for Southeast Missouri State, right?
Right.
So let's go back to Dave Stewart
Okay.
and this next headline. You ready?
Okay.
He calls it a fact.
Oh no.
State's quake expert believes in psychic phenomena.
Okay. All right.
Calling it a fact.
All right, David.
Now, even if I believed in that, I cannot go as far as to say it's a fact because when it's a fact, it's going to be proven through scientific method, which is tested, which is repeatable, which is peer reviewed. That's not this. And anyone who's a scientist would understand that. So I don't know who this Dave Stewart fellow was or how he got into the position he did, but he obviously probably shouldn't have had the job he had to begin with. And a gentleman with that title backing Ivan Browning allows this to continue, and it does. But then we get to this point where he calls it a fact. Psychic phenomena.
Now, this is interesting. Stewart said he did not believe Browning was a psychic, but in 1976...
But
well,
no
well,
but, no
right,
but.
No, but he got a butt, my friend. But in 1976, while a professor at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Stewart backed a psychic's prediction for a major earthquake near Wilmington, North Carolina. Because of that position, he was denied tenure at the university.
Yes. And yet, what position does he end up in?
He ends up as
should've
director.
never.
And then look at where he's at. We're not even... Why did we do this? Why did you guys just simply jump on this bullshit? The guy was literally fired for believing in psychics the first time. So why in the hell will we take his word as truth when he comes forward to say
Because-
this is a fact?
Because his title. This is what allowed it. The fact that he was in this position to give this was a mistake, obviously. That university made a mistake
Yeah, they
in
did.
putting him in a position
Yeah, they did.
where he could control a message like
Yeah,
this.
they
Or
did.
further, someone else's message and
Credit
prediction.
to UNC for being like, okay, buddy, Here are your papers. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Okay. Now, there's hysteria going on. What if it just so happened you had a mini-series about earthquakes in your NBC?
No.
Would you
don't tell
cancel
me.
it or not with the hysteria
I would
going
say,
on?
look, man, this is irresponsible. We as a network cannot put this kind of content out into the airwaves for the entire country to see. That's what they, oh my God, they did the opposite. They did the freaking opposite. NBC won't delay Quake miniseries.
The NBC television network has rejected a request by a group of Midwestern earthquake preparedness officials to delay airing a
no
quake disaster
problem
movie.
feeding into the hysteria. Holy hell, NBC, are you serious?
Because they knew it would get ratings, especially with the hysteria going. The hysteria was already there. So they're not going to get rid of it, right? Because they know they're going to get eyes at that point. And then we move on to...
Oh no! Residents told to prepare for days after quake.
Yeah.
What kind? This is so freaking irresponsible.
And this is from Jackson, Tennessee, I believe. It's from the Jackson Sun. I think this is where this article is from.
Children in school should get under their desk, the experts said. If in cars, people should pull to the side of the road and avoid parking under bridges and viaducts, experts said.
But look at the lead. This is what gets me. Sherry L. Gaddy. People must be prepared to fend for themselves
Oh my God!
for 3 to 5 days if a major earthquake disrupts the area. Residents of Jefferson County were told Thursday at a seminar in Arnold. Okay, this was in the Jackson newspaper, but this is a Post-Dispatch special, it looks like. So this was in our area, but in the Jackson newspaper.
They held a seminar. This at Fox High School. More than 2,000 people showed up. State Representative William McKenna of House Springs is apparently the one who organized this. Our purpose tonight is to calm people's fears.
So by telling them, you're going to have to fend for yourself for 3 to 5 days.
But we want to calm your fears.
So it's
you
not
may
just
have.
the media. It's not just the bad prediction. It's not just the guy
Now
who
you got
never
the
should have had
government
his
in-
job. You have the government
involved
doing this. Government feeding into the hysteria. This is how it goes, right? And then this is my
This is snowballed way more than I expected.
now. This is what happened. This is why I went down the rabbit hole for so long.
Yeah, it's
Jesus,
very
I get it
confusing
now.
How this could happen.
So I'm going through these articles, clipping after clipping, and then I get to one that just I laughed. I couldn't stop laughing. All right, this is
Earthquake
this
center
one's
workers
from the Jackson
field
paper.
hysterical phone calls. What time is most often asked? What?
So I've highlighted a few passages
Oh
here in
my
this
God,
article.
Jesus!
Callers want to know what time it's going to happen, said Secretary Anitra Williams, who answers the center's phones. What time? What time? But we have no way of knowing when an earthquake is going to happen. So we make fun of the people that call to the news stations when severe weather's going on, right? Imagine having to field these calls where someone's asking you, hey, what time is the earthquake going to happen?
I get it. I figured it out now. I figured it out. I see how Trump won.
Do you?
I see.
I
Because
think this would have been fixed with
see
the
this.
internet. This would have went away
This-
in about 2
this-
hours
I bet-
instead of
yeah.
2 weeks.
But for the simple fact that people, again, not one person has established an iota of fact in regards to this from one respected scientist. Yes, it is the director, but even if a good enough journalist would have asked, director of CMO, you, sir, are apparently being put out at the forefront of this particular argument that this is going to happen. Let's dive a little deeper into who this guy is and what his credentials
right,
are.
but that takes time. But you're going
Yeah,
to get
that's true.
you don't necessarily go to that right away. But if someone says something weird, you might be like, okay,
This is
well, publish-
irresponsible by some
Well,
very important people.
But I don't think it was necessarily responsible to publish what he says initially, or even after
No,
the fact,
no.
because then you're starting to show the this guy's got some issues. So you need to keep publishing what he's saying because you're allowing people to see he's a little out there. You know what I'm saying?
Like, and I think in this,
but it has to be shown that way too.
But I feel like this is it's interesting on several levels, more so that how it's being fed to the public and how it's very similar now that there isn't a counterweight. I get the journalists reporting on what's being said at these meetings.
Yeah.
I feel like there should have also been a note right underneath that paragraph that illustrates no scientist of note or anyone who's responsible for the National Earthquake Center.
I can't remember.
Like,
what
I
it's-
feel like there should have been maybe some note in these stories that
Now that's
illustrate.
fair. Like,
okay.
go to someone who is saying, or like, and this is where seismologists had to get involved, and we're saying,
Okay.
no, this is not a thing.
Right.
Now there were some of those articles written.
Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
pull some of
Okay.
those
Whew.
because I wanted to.
I was getting a little bit nervous. I was like, please,
Yeah.
God, let there be some voice of reason in the media
Because-
that said we need to slow down
Yeah,
here.
and there were some.
Okay.
There was some of that. But I wanted to highlight some of
Okay.
what was being written here. Now
Alright.
back to this story at the bottom. The center staff takes each call seriously, though it's hard not to laugh at times, said Stevens. One of the phone calls fielded by George was from a woman asking how long gravity would last on Earth after the quake struck. I told her I wasn't worried because I have Velcro on my shoes. So there was someone calling, you're fielding these calls and wondering when gravity goes away after the earthquake. So that's what you were dealing with. And then, of course, the day came. Nothing happened.
No other reports then.
Well, then everybody left town and kind of just
Pretended it didn't happen.
kind of moved along. There, and this maybe the story started to turn. You see, here's the positive spin on it. At least it made people aware of what could happen during an earthquake, of what
No.
might happen, and how to be more prepared and more aware now. So actually, the positive of all this, even with the misinformation, the hysteria, the hyperbole, the failed prediction with no methodology that was proven by science, at least we're now more prepared. Except, I did enjoy the RFT's headline. Thank you, Riverfront Times. Earthquakes!
Oh, boy.
The Great Quake of 90 scored a 0 on the Richter scale, proving that Ivan was as terrible as the hypesters who took him seriously. The Midwest had gotten stupid for nothing,
Nice.
and it wasn't New Madrid's fault.
Nice. That is a yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how it's freaking done. That's correct.
I don't know if this is true, but it looks like it. Black Sheep says Jefferson County then trusted and elected 2 more McKennas after that incident.
Oh, really? Fend for yourselves!
I think this was all just a government ruse just to see how the public will react under a situation like this, just to see how will they mobilize,
Hey, let's
how will
test.
they take care of themselves, what would they do, will they turn on their neighbor?
Yeah.
And I think the government's like, we got all the research that we needed from these Midwest
Because the
idiots.
government was like, at some point, we're going to have to tell them the truth. about
Yeah,
certain things.
yeah, exactly.
So let's test it.
Let's
with
test it out. Let's
I
see
like
if we had to
that.
tell the public what the real truth was. Like maybe there was a major discovery out at one of the
aliens.
It could have been an alien. Maybe they're like, all right, boys, I think the public's ready. No, sir. I don't know about that. These people, they're out of their minds. No, I trust the American public. I believe. All right, let's do an experiment.
They're never ready.
They're never ready. And they did this experiment,
Yeah.
and you idiots fell right into the trap, and now they'll never tell us anything because you morons reacted like the stupid people that you are. Thanks a lot, Generation Stupids. I told him, Chris. I got him.
I think you did. You got them in the furniture companies
I did.
today.
Oh, okay.
Wait, big day for you so far.
Big day for all.
Huge day.
And that's why I think we should celebrate Ivan Browning Days.
I agree.
As a festival, a
I
2-day
agree.
festival.
I agree.
We could have exhibits with, you could have the press exhibit, the
I
hysteria
like
exhibit.
it. I like it.
We could have Uncle Tupelo reunion. And they can play New Madrid.
right.
And then maybe we can get like Ivan Browning's
Ivan Browning.
granddaughter to come up and.
Take it easy.
Here's the
No, I'm
thing.
just saying.
You were going to offer.
I was
What was the Uncle Tupelo lyric? Mr. Browning has a prediction. We've been told, I believe it is. We could have them play the festival. Now, Ivan Browning died like in 1991, like a year after all this happened. His daughter continued, from my research, at least until 2015. I don't know if she's around still or not. Had a website with the Browning newsletter where they were still advising, charging people to advise for certain predictions and their methodology and everything like that. That website is still live. I was browsing it on Saturday. So, and there is a phone number on there. It looks like they're based out of Las Vegas. I did read an article where they had been contacted before about this anniversary coming up. It might have been like the 25 years, something like that. And there was no comment provided from the organization.
That's unfortunate.
So I don't know where they stand or what they're still doing, but you can even find a video too, because I think that lady's husband is involved with that. And I can't tell. The last copy, I don't know what you call it on a website when they update it and they have the year, whatever. That's listed as 2017.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And then the last content I saw was from 2015. But I didn't go through everything. I was just kind of browsing through their website.
What if on Browning Day you plan a huge event, but say there's only a 50% chance it's going to happen? That's the black sheep.
And that's how Lou Fest was born.
Oh, my gosh. That was a St. Louis mishap, but a St. Louis positive is St. Louis Counseling Services. Be sure you hit them up whenever you are looking for services to help your employees, students, family members, individuals seeking out counseling help. They've got locations throughout St. Louis. stlouiscounseling.org is the website. You can see or download the podcast as well when you're on the website, stlouiscounseling.org. Big shout out to Tom and Debbie. They are trusted friends of ours, and you can use them for their services and count on great counseling from St. Louis Counseling Services. Also, it's Giving Tuesday today. If you're interested, be sure to donate and support St. Louis Counseling Services, everybody. Will O'Donnell letting you know Gardner dropped the hammer with the Lou Fest quip. Does that hurt more than anything you've lost in the last 10 years?
That's not great.
Yeah.
True.
Not great. I'm sure there's things that hurt more, but it doesn't feel good. I was looking forward to Arcade Fire playing in Forest Park sometime.
One day. One day.
We'll see. We'll see.
Indeed. Gardner, do you need a smoke break? No. I was like, oh, maybe we'll just power through and just knock it out. We'll take a quick break. It's We Are Live, midcoast.media. Check out the website for all of our great capabilities. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Chris Emmon, Travis Sorrell. It's We Are Live, podcasting 5 days a week right here at Midcoast Studio in Grand Center. If you missed last hour, you can go back and podcast it for the audio. You can also check out the video on YouTube where we put up clips, comedian interviews, all kinds of fun stuff on the Midcoast channel on YouTube. Also, it's way easier to just rabbit hole this thing. And speaking of rabbit holes, boy, did we go on one last hour. It's quite interesting. Dr. Ivan Browning catching Gardner's wrath, and now ours as we've been educated on that. Plenty to get to this hour. We've got the Great American Race. We've got Travis discussing his scarf for 17 minutes. That starts at 20 after.
Oh boy.
Is that right? Did I get that? Did I nail that?
Timing wise?
Did you name that scarf?
I didn't name it yet.
You should name your scarves as you purchase
I
them.
think the more of the collection I build up, I'll start to give them names.
That's nice.
It
That's a
is-
good idea.
Yeah, I like it as well. We're gonna visit one of those pop-up shops. We're gonna try to do a try-view, so we can explore.
Yeah, I got to see. I know there's one that's normally in the Central West End, but it changes location each year. So I got to see where it might be. So I'm not sure where, because there's some open spaces there. Now, I mean, hell, I have to check on this. I heard a rumor yesterday that Brennan's was closing in the Central West End.
There wasn't a rumor. It was there were rumors going around, and then that pushed them into having to announce that their lease is not getting renewed after 22 years.
Yeah.
The chess museum's expanding, so Brennan's now leaves, and then they said that they'll announce their new location in the Central West End.
Okay.
So their current spot will no longer be their spot.
So Rex Sinkfeld is involved in this thing.
He elbowed that ass out of there.
Basically. Well, they have another project that they've got across the street here,
Yeah.
too. So whenever I first saw that, I was like, that's a little misleading to say they're closing.
Yeah.
That location is no longer going to exist in Brennan's name. But
That's
they said they're staying in the Central West End at another location.
We
So.
got the smoking area upstairs. Just pushing my people out,
Yeah.
pushing us
Do you
away.
think that's what it's about? Do you think it's ultimately a shot at the persecuted smoker?
It's probably not, but we can turn it into that. To
Yeah,
further
that's all I was
agendas. Yeah,
asking.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yes, most certainly, Chris. Ah, again.
Get the ass.
We'll go after him when the timing is right.
That's fair.
So Rex and crew, not renewing the lease, huh?
Ballers.
But
Okay.
they're expanding the chess museum. How do we feel about that?
Well, that's fine. It's done. They seem to get some traffic in there. They're hosting events, doing some nice things. I'm not against them, but I mean, Brennan's has been around a while. You have to do them like that. That's unnecessary.
Okay. I'm a
think.
fan of Brennan's.
Yeah.
Great people over there.
Can I show you a book I came across on the holiday
I'd love to see this.
that I was not aware of? It's from 1976. And apparently it won some awards and was a Canadian bestseller.
Okay.
And had some good reviews by some national newspapers here in the United States. It's called Bear.
Oh,
As you can see the cover there.
may I read the
If you would like to.
well on the cover of Bear? This woman who seems to be being cuddled
Uh-huh.
by a massive black bear.
Uh-huh.
That's a brown bear grizzly, apparently.
A shocking erotic novel of a woman in love, a startlingly alive narrative of the forbidden, the unthinkable, the hardly imaginable. And that's from the Washington Post.
Correct. And this thing won the Governor General's Award for Fiction.
Is that a big award?
Maybe in Canada or something like that. But this is
May I read the...
you ready to read the description?
May I?
All right, so if you can see it, go ahead.
As provocative and powerful now as when it was first published, Marian Ingles' most famous and most controversial novel tells the unforgettable story of a woman transformed by a primal, erotic relationship. Lou is a lonely librarian who spends her days in the dusty archives of the Historical Institute. When an unusual field assignment comes her way, she jumps at the chance to travel to a remote island in northern Ontario, where she will spend the summer cataloging a library that belonged to an eccentric 19th century colonel.
Mm-hmm.
Eager to investigate the estate's curious history, she is shocked to discover that the island has one other inhabitant.
And other what?
Inhabitant.
Inhabitant?
Inhabitant.
There you go.
A bear.
Oh, no.
Lou's imagination is soon overtaken by the island's past occupants, whose deep fascination with bears gradually becomes her own. Irresistibly, Lou is led along a path of emotional and sexual
What?
sexual self-awakening.
What?
She explores the limits of her own animal nature.
Oh, no.
What she discovers will challenge her life forever.
Change.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah. From the Globe and Mail, Canada's Lolita, or Lady Chatterley's Lover. From the New York Times, Bear works as simply and mysteriously as a folk tale. It is a remarkable tour de force.
New York Times says this.
Yes. The Washington Post gave it a good review.
Ah, shit, I'm going to have to read this book.
Yep,
All right.
I think I'm going to have to get this.
Damn it.
I would go in
Because-
on it and say, hey, look, we've been doing this with bear culture for way too long. They are apex predators, and now we're, striking up sexual relationships with them back in the mid-'70s.
Is this-
No, it was the mid-'70s, peace and love and all that. But still, it's a fucking bear.
We were a little post peace and love. We were post Vietnam at this point, so like the darkness had taken over.
Is this like, what was that Guillermo del Toro film with the fish and the lady?
Oh, okay. Who was it though?
Guillermo del Toro?
Who?
Guillermo?
Don't help it.
G. del Toro, Benicio's family.
Oh.
He wrote a movie, directed a film where the lady was fucking the fish.
Yeah.
So is this essentially the reason why I'm going to end up picking up this book, is to see if a bear fucks this woman? Is that why I'm essentially going to read
I think
this
you
book?
know that's going to happen.
I think I
just
do
want to
know.
read the details.
I do want to read the. I do want to know how that happens.
Yeah. I got to tell you, it's piqued my interest too.
And not only that, I feel like there isn't just one scene of that. I feel like there's
Yeah.
probably 5 to 8 bear human sex scenes.
I mean, they were doing, this is like porn writing here. I mean, librarian.
we're gonna have to get that's the next review.
Her dusty archives.
Oh,
What does that
Oh,
mean?
no.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. That's gonna be a part of the Treview.
I think it's like under $15 online. I was searching it on Amazon.
Okay, well, if you get a hold
That's
of
not
it,
a
let
dollar
me know.
bin, huh?
No.
I feel like that
I
should
mean,
be.
it did win the Governor General.
It is.
Good point.
So
Thank
I mean,
you.
it is an
How did that
award-winning book.
How did that not become a movie?
We need to get into the awards game, where we kind of can pressure people into being like, "Hey, you buy this advertising for a year, you'll be strongly considered for a Wally."
A Wally?
Display that in the front of your business.
We're
huh?
still getting 2017 put together.
Who's putting that together?
Give us time. Give us some more time. It's gonna be the best fucking Wallies. Did you know you had to put on award shows every year?
Annually,
fair,
they
those-
say.
Annually. They say. Far be it from us to give back anything of the good stuff that we've done. We're just going to go ahead and tap out beforehand. I'm
I want
fully
to see this
behind that.
movie. I want to see this movie. I want this to be a movie. I'm ready to cast this film. I'm ready to cast it. Jessica Chastain is absolutely the woman.
Like, how do you do is the bear CGI or
The
what do you
bear
do?
would be CGI,
I
but
mean, they kind of.
if
like,
I kinda-
people were curious if the bear got a hold of Leo like
Can I-
that.
Yeah.
can I assume that this mysterious colonel is possibly our plot twist bear?
He's turned into a bear.
Now, I hadn't even read the book, but again,
So who plays the colonel?
so that of course would be played by.
Is it being an older gentleman? It
would
has to be an older gentleman,
Okay,
right?
it'd be an older gentleman. Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. He's got the rugged good looks. Looks like he could have been a colonel. Great actor. Name brand.
What about Harrison Ford?
This is you need a man. Harrison, 10,
Get out
15
of my
years
den.
Yeah. Josh Brolin was Thanos. He's a man.
Clint Eastwood.
I don't know. Okay, we don't need any more of his. I don't want to hear him
He
call
said
him the
Josh-
bear the N-word.
He said,
Get out of here, you Negro bear. It's not even, that wasn't even necessary to the script, dog.
Get off my lawn.
Travis used Josh Brolin's role as an alien Titan life force to say, Josh Brolin's the man. And literally an alien. Okay, sorry.
Or Chris Hemsworth. You can go with Chris Hemsworth. It's a good
Does
role
it have
for
to
him.
be a younger person, or does
It doesn't have to be an older person
mean,
necessarily,
with
but those are
this-
two solid actors I would cast for this film.
With this digital stuff now, I mean, you can go with
Yeah.
anyone. I mean, you can really.
This feels like a Beauty and the Beast type of situation. That's why I think
We
this
could
could
put
work.
James Dean in this one, like they were going to in the. Can we get a Eddie Bauer cameo in the Bear
Why
movie?
not?
not?
That would be a nice twist.
Eddie Bauer.
He just happens to be out surveying the area, testing out his new flannel.
Don't mind me. My friends call me Bauer. Edward Bauer.
Edward Bauer.
Wouldn't it be funny if you found out Eddie Bauer's pissed, rip shit pissed, that he was like, he demanded it be Edward Bauer. And they were like, we think Eddie's good. He's like, that's horrible.
Yeah. My
I
name
wanna
is
be
Edward.
Eddie.
No
I'm
one calls
Edward.
me Eddie.
No one ever.
Oh, it flows better.
What if
That
they,
doesn't
like,
flow like
what-
the fucking river?
But what if, I think that's probably how it worked. They're probably like, Mr. Bauer, we're going to give your family $3 billion. However, we're going to call it Eddie Bauer.
He's pissed, but his widow's like, call it E-money. I don't care.
Yeah.
Call you money.
Eddie Money.
So we want to see this as a film.
Yeah. Well, let
John
me read
Goodman
it
as
first.
the bear. Will Donald.
Oh. I'd like to see him as a colonel.
This feels like a Twilight situation. We're going to discover that the bear and these people are from this old society, and they used to experiment with bear DNA.
What is M. Night Shyamalan going to
yeah,
direct
it's
this?
definitely.
I
That's
was gonna
definitely.
say,
I'm going to read this.
You could do
book.
that, or you could find out the bear was in your heart all along.
Yeah, that's it. That was the biggest bear. The bear that was inside your loins.
The bear, the
My
real,
bear loins.
the
The
real
bear
bear,
loins.
the real bear was his relationship with his father.
I ain't gonna lie. It was a bear.
Either
It's a
way,
cover
they'll
with
kill
the-
you.
But the cover's pretty badass. It's a cover with the bear getting him some white lady titties.
I like how the hair is flowing.
Flowing.
It rolls as a, what's the song?
As a
Girl from the
underboob.
North Country, Bob Dylan.
I'm reading that.
Rolls
hell out of
and
this
flows
book.
all around her breasts. I think of that song. I think this is a girl from the North Country. But there's multiple covers too. You can find different covers. One of them is just like a bear scratch mark on her back.
Oh, nice.
That's being infected.
See, this is why he's here. He's reasonable. He thinks of things like that we don't
How
think of.
bad that would hurt.
So how do
Get
how
a
do you
little
take
cut.
care of
You
that?
just like hit your hand on a door and get a cut. Ow!
Do you got peroxide? You gonna clean that
Well,
wound?
see, then the peroxide kills the good bacteria too.
Oh, really? So what do we use?
Not that bear's nasty tongue out there clawing up God knows who.
Why?
It's a good time to tell you about Gateway Powder Coat. Is it? Hope they find out this content. GatewayPowderCoat.com for more information. If you need something powder coated like your wheels, metal furniture, maybe you got some shelving that needs touched up, GatewayPowderCoat.com for more information. #1 powder coating resource in the Midwest for you and yours.
Boys and girls,
Oh boy.
it's a new month. Final one of 2019. Which means it's time to kick off 2019's very last Great American Race!
There's
No open.
no open.
And we still haven't got around to it. Nevertheless,
Yeah. We have a scoreboard though.
we do indeed.
Well, that's
Ooh,
exciting.
It's shiny.
Can you
Shiny and new.
fill in our listeners
Yeah.
on how this lovely game is played?
Sure. You see the scoreboard there on the screen. It says 850 next to Chris's name and 800 next to Travis.
Now, why aren't the scores the same, Gardner?
Well, a couple things here.
Okay.
Our scoring system is based on a credit score.
Gotcha.
So the highest, my understanding, the highest you can achieve is 850.
But wait a minute. Travis doesn't have 850. Chris does. Why is that?
Chris and Travis, are you familiar with the little thing called systematic racism?
Hey, I know that word. What is systematic racism?
Well, it's 2 words.
Okay.
And it impacts your credit score, Travis.
Oh, my.
And drops you automatically 50 points. So systematic racism gets involved. You start at 800.
Oh, so it's like as if my life begins behind the 8 ball.
A black ball. Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right.
So throughout the month, once a week we try to do it. You guys present stories that makes the other's community or culture not look the best.
No.
And I arbitrarily will deduct or add points as you present your stories or defend yourself against the other's story.
Okay.
And at the end of the month, whoever has the higher credit score is declared the winner of...
The Great American Race!
All right. Who would like to go first today? In the
Well-
month of December.
Well, I, of course, took home the victory for my people in the month of November.
It's a big day for you, huh?
It was huge. So therefore, I will cede the floor to
What?
Sir Christopher Denman.
Okay. You guys have heard of Wrap Snacks, huh?
Love them. Delicious. Outstanding.
Well, they have been a success. They're a big hit throughout St. Louis
Yeah,
and
they are.
everywhere, really.
They're very tasty.
Yeah, you've got some interesting flavors paired with different wrappers, huh?
Who doesn't like hip hop, huh? Everyone loves it.
What kind of flavors you got?
I enjoy the La Boosies,
Ooh.
La Romeos.
Oh.
I even enjoy the Cardi B barbecue and jalapeno.
Fetty Wap. It's
Fetty
got
Wap,
a popular brand.
very
Yeah.
delicious. Fetty Wap doesn't have an eye, and they illustrate that on the potato bag chip.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty
Noticeable.
weird.
Your friend and recent disappointee on the No Limit Tour, Master P,
Oh yes,
is part of that.
he is.
As Travis would say, he's unveiling a new product.
I like unveilings.
Master P is unveiling his own brand of ramen noodles
Oh,
called
no.
Wrap Noodles.
Oh no.
He announced it via Instagram.
Oh no.
He'll be
Oh no.
jumping into the game with flavors like creamy chicken gumbo,
Oh,
hot and spicy
oh.
Cajun shrimp,
Okay, this is
spicy
good.
picante chicken, and sirloin steak beefy.
Okay, that ain't bad.
Mm-hmm.
Wrap noodles.
So Master P, again,
I don't.
came up with the, he jumped in with the Wrap Snacks. He co-founded that with James Fly Lindsay. He's a management sir. Honey Jalapeno, again, is the Fetty Wap one that is famous. We were talking about. I wanted to get that out there. But Master P, as he calls himself, Chef Boy RP.
Oh. 10 points off.
Not sure if you're familiar with sodium, Travis. Are you familiar with it?
He
What's
is.
that do to
He
you
is.
people?
I mean,
Do you know what that does?
too much sodium
Do you know what that does?
can be a lot.
If you go with one serving of ramen noodles, that's 875 milligrams of sodium
Uh-huh.
for 43 grams in a serving.
How much is that as a percentage of your daily whatever? We don't know?
Well, we'll find out in 2 seconds.
Okay. Because we can throw the number out there. I just want to be accurate of what we're portraying here.
Yeah. So dietary guidelines recommend limiting sodium intake to less than 2,300 milligrams, so nearly half of your sodium intake for the day. Say you double up, as maybe some folks in this office would do with a box of ramen.
Uh-huh.
There's 3/4 of your sodium intake for the day. So my point being, before Travis jumps on the entrepreneur celebration of this, congrats to him for maybe coming up with a new product. No congrats for furthering bad food being marketed to your people. And in a race like this, we need all the nutrients we can get. Thank you.
I
and
can't
good night.
say that I'm surprised at this story, specifically that Chris would use this story, because why not?
Wrap noodles.
Why not?
Invading your grocery counters.
Why not? First of all, why not for Chris to attack a successful black
There it
business
is.
owner?
There it is.
By the way, Master P, worth $700 million. This man has given jobs to people in his community. This man has graduated a son from college who is himself has gone on to build his own empire. He has absolutely helped the Ninth Ward, especially post-Katrina, helping those people turn their lives around. And here you are. He didn't ask for, he
net
didn't-
worth roughly 200 million.
That was
as
no,
a
but
quick
that,
correction.
Though actually, in his Wikipedia is close up to 700. But
Oh, his Wikipedia.
his Wikipedia is updated.
Entrepreneur magazine.
He is
says 200
entrepreneur.
million
Look, I'm telling you,
as of
Master
2019.
P has helped people in New Orleans when the government wasn't going to be there to help. When
Is this when George Bush hated black people, according to Kanye West?
man, yes,
In 2009, Forbes estimated it at 700 million.
So he's lost 500 million?
So they say.
Master P has done more for the community than anyone I know in New Orleans. And I think that Chris attacking
when you start smiling.
or Chris attacks a black business owner, I can't be surprised.
Well, the name of the game is I Find a Black Story. For you to attack the rules of the game is an interesting.
This is very
point of
Republican of you, Travis,
Yeah.
involving the impeachment process. When you don't have the facts on your side, you start attacking the process.
I'm not attacking the process at all. The process is fine. I just find it interesting that of all the stories Chris could find, it was you would go after a man who has done a lot to actually help his community. He's given them jobs.
But he's not helping in this situation.
And now, look. First of all, as Kanye has said, it's all a choice, right? So people
But
can choose
you're
not
quoting
to.
Kanye now.
That you can choose not to, but that's your people.
Quoting Kanye?
But you're defending yours.
I just think Master P, he is finding another way to give the people what they want. And I don't see why, as a capitalist, where we reward every capitalist in this country often, sometimes we even elect them to be president.
Where are you going with
that
this?
you would attack someone like Master P. Master P, by the way, you didn't know about this. P stands for the positive. Master Positive, and that's
Pretty sure it stands for Percy,
Oh, okay.
which is his name.
He also had a
you're
jump
gonna-
shot.
The
He's a good-
judge is going to allow him to lie
He's
under oath.
and he's a very good basketball player.
Oh, Chris brings up a good point. Oh, whoops. Sorry, Chris took some points off. Travis loses 10 for the one. I'm reminded of a lyric from the song Pure Comedy by Father John Misty, Travis.
Oh, boy,
Okay.
for sure.
The lyric is, they build fortunes poisoning their offspring and hand out prizes when someone patents the cure. Is Master P poisoning his offspring? And is this appropriation?
It is Asian appropriation as well.
So, I'll let it stand at the total it is right now.
Interesting. Okay.
Travis, you have the floor.
Thank you. There is a musician that holds his heart near and dear to the white community. Like when you think your community, you think of this musician. This guy has appropriated Leonard Skinner. Like that's how white he is. He appropriated the most whitest band in the history of whiteness.
You talking about the guy who made his bones coming out of Detroit rapping?
And then
With the
threw
black,
those
with the black
same,
female drummer?
and then threw those same black people under the bus. Vern Troyer, where is he now?
That's not Vern Troyer.
Travis, you lose
It's
10
not
points.
Vern
It wasn't
Troyer.
Vern.
It was not.
Was it?
Jesus
It was Josie. It was Josie. It's very different.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
It's
So
Jo-
Vern Troyer wasn't
It
No.
was Josie.
with Kid Rock?
And
No.
he died of, I think, liver complications.
Oh
It
no.
was Josie. It was
That
different.
wasn't but that wasn't Vern Troyer.
No.
Oh boy.
No, what you should have done, what Chris said there when he comes out of Detroit rapping, you should have said, yeah, the suburbs and in a privileged upbringing.
And a very privileged upbringing.
Instead, you went Vern Troyer, who has nothing to do with him at all.
Apparently not. Nevertheless,
I'll be damned.
here's a
Follow
guy
the
who
turn.
grew up in a gated community, grew up with millions.
His name's Bob.
Country rapper and rocker, Kid Rock, was caught on video lashing out at our queen, Oprah Winfrey, in a vulgar rant while on stage at his, you ready for the name of this? Big ass, honky tonk, rock and roll steakhouse in Nashville, Tennessee.
You lose 10 points for the name of that. Sorry, Chris. It's not your fault.
I like Oprah Winfrey and Joy Behar. They can suck dick sideways, says your hero, Kid Rock. Fuck Oprah Winfrey and fuck Kathy Lee Gifford, he continues saying, as someone in the audience described him as blackout drunk.
Oh, okay.
White out drunk.
I was
whatever,
like,
man.
are these relevant names in his world? Like, I'm like, what? Kathy Lee Gifford.
And then this is so much about this is just so beautiful. Rock continuously repeated the same phrases throughout his rant against Winfrey and other women who have hosted talk shows until he suddenly believed he would be accused of being racist based on his onstage remarks.
So realization mid sentence where he's like, oh, did he go after Sally Jesse Raphael?
To those who would say,
Answer the
well,
question.
to those who would say, well, I'm pretty sure Kid Rock's racist. I'm like, fine, fuck off, sideways. I'm not the bad guy in this equation, Rock continued saying. I'm the fucking guy you want. Like, hey, he's pretty cool.
I don't
He's having a conversation with himself. This is
around
a
me at
drunken
all.
rambling. Hey, he's pretty cool.
He would make me leave the bar. I wouldn't want to be around him.
Pro entertainer, amateur drinker.
Yes. He's got Chris. I'm sorry, you're gonna lose 10 more points.
Well, why? How?
For
I
him?
bought a Kid Rock CD.
No, I just the suck dick sideways and fuck up. I don't understand the sideways
Why?
thing.
Like, why
Unless-
is that worse?
Unless it's so white that he really enjoyed the movie Sideways.
Great film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you'll get 10 points back for that.
You chewing gum?
By the way, he also got himself fired from his role as the Nashville Christmas Parade Grand Marshal last year following a
Hilarious.
Fox and Friends TV appearance in which he
Hilarious.
called Behar a bitch.
Why does he hate Joy Behar? Maybe she does suck, but how is she relevant in anything he does?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out these random names and who I would
Pretty
be mad
funny.
at.
Like, was he arguing with his great aunt before he went on stage? Like, who watches Joy Behar that has anything to do with Kid Rock?
Rock's
Kathy Lee, was he going after Hoda as well?
no shots at Hoda, apparently. Maybe he's a Hoda guy. Kid Rock's big ass honky tonk rock and roll steakhouse
Stop saying that.
faced some controversy back in January after a huge neon sign showing a facsimile of a woman's buttocks was installed at the premises.
Nice.
Nashville City Council ultimately allowed him to keep the sign, despite strong opposition from some members who felt the image would leave tourists with a vulgar impression of the city.
There's bachelorette parties there every weekend.
Yeah, very true. People are literally sucking dick straws everywhere you
Okay.
go.
Sideways?
Probably. That's probably where he got the inspiration
Maybe
from.
that's where he saw it.
I guess. Like, why does it make it more insult if it's sideways?
I don't know.
Right? Like, ah, she did it sideways.
It's actually like shows more talent and
I thought-
dexterity.
I guess.
No, so Kid Rock is a racist, a drunk, an asshole, and he killed Vern Troyer. I think that
no,
enough.
it was Joe C.
Was it? So he killed Joe C.
Lose 10
He
points
killed
for
Joe C.
killing Vern Troyer. Travis, you're going to lose 10 points for continually calling him Vern Troyer because you.
I got some bad information. I got some bad information.
Where did you
Were
get
you
your
a little?
information?
Were you a little short on your info?
Are you guys going to tell Akeem Woods about these midget
Nope.
jokes?
Nope. He ain't gonna cut
Because
my
he
ass
famously
out.
said on this show, he's cutting down people for making midget jokes. Oh, damn it.
Kid Rock. That's pretty embarrassing. Romeo, Michigan, Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
Married and divorced Pamela Anderson, as we all remember.
Oh, he was married to Pam Anderson. I remember that, and that was whenever I was like, ah, Pam.
I like when Travis gets to the bottom of stories and
Yeah.
just rambles through.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, there you go. Had an
There's
album out. in,
detail.
oh no.
Detail.
William Ritchie,
What are you
owner
saying?
of multiple.
I don't know what you're saying.
William Ritchie is his father. He was
Okay.
owner of multiple car dealerships,
Right.
and mother Sue Ritchie was, I guess, part of a real estate family.
So they had some money.
Yeah, he was born, as Chris pointed out, Robert James Ritchie, Kid Rock.
R.J.
Hey, you mean
Ritchie.
Bobby?
Yeah.
Uncle Steve, I'm Kid.
Uh-huh.
Call me Kid Rock.
I've seen pictures of him in those days where he's trying to.
He was looking like he was part of
He had like a
that
villainette.
Boston rap group, wasn't he?
Which one?
I don't know. He
Like
was
a Marky Mark type deal?
kind of thing. Sure.
Part of the Funky Bunch?
Is that what he was dressing
I
like
think
back
he had
then?
like a Vanilla Ice vibe going
yeah.
too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, not good. Chris lost a considerable amount of points. Both good stories today.
Master
You
P
both did
starting
very
rap
well.
noodles.
Rap, the name of the game today for both the white and black communities.
Cheers. Cheers to us.
Birch reminding us that Freeburg, Illinois is the home of the Mighty Midgets.
Yes. Is it still? Are they still that? I didn't know if they had changed their name yet or not. Well, I know the one changed their name.
Tom
Which I
Brown's a
won't.
Michigan man, and he says suburban Detroit has a lot of trash.
Obviously.
Very clear. Thank you, Kid Rock.
But that just 'cause you can be trash and have money, though.
Oh, absolutely.
You know where you don't need money? For entry to Sophie's this Thursday. Big show. You mentioned Akeem Woods. He's coming in from Los Angeles. He's going to headline this. Sophie's this Thursday. We have a special thing happening. So we've got Angela Smith. She's getting ready to move. She's leaving St. Louis in January. So this will be one of her last shows. Excited to have her. We've got J.C. Sabala, our friend Yale Hollander, and St. Louis Magazine is coming to do a profile on him in the show. So we're excited about that. If you could come help us out by packing the place, we have gotten Buzz's Hawaiian Grill to bring food out. Food for $1 to $5, doing like a finger food snack menu. It's delicious food. Come pack the place and let's show Buzz some love. You can also get Jack Daniel's specials. Don't forget Schlafly as well. Come see our friend Eric behind the bar. And we've got the good folks from Gateway Pet Guardians, young professionals, bringing Boo the dog, available for adoption and selfies. So it's a big show. Come out, support us, bring some friends, and let's have a good time, everybody. Birch would like to see them play Park Hills in the Politically Incorrect Bowl. Park Hills has that's near Farmington, and they have the Park Hills Rebels.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I say until Ole Miss dumps it, like the high schools,
Ole Miss.
what are they going to do?
I mean, Mississippi still has
That
the
ain't happening.
Confederate flag on their flag, so
There you go.
rebels aren't going anywhere soon until that goes away.
Real quick, you saw this in baseball. We used to talk baseball all the time on the radio show. Not to move on too far from the Great American Race, but Cincinnati Reds bringing in Moose, Mike Moustakas. Do you see this? Exciting? You guys like that the Reds are at least taking cuts at bringing in some players? Would you have liked to see him seen him as a Cardinal this year?
I mean, you could have considered it, but I think they had their their options are going to be in the outfield. I would think if they're going to upgrade.
Probably
you
so.
know. You could try something at third base.
Is
and-
Moustakas going to play second?
I don't know what the plans are completely there. I doubt it.
They'll do well in that ballpark. That's an overpay, but the Reds are the Reds. They have to overpay. I think if the Cardinals had given Mike Moustakas the contract that the Reds gave him, I would have flipped this freaking table.
Why?
It's a freaking overpay. You're paying Mike Moustakas $64 million?
Pretty good.
Why do you care what he gets paid?
It's not a matter of what he gets paid. It's a matter of where you can use your resources. So if the Cardinals are going to be, well, we're looking at spending X amount of dollars, then I would rather them not allocate that to someone like Mike
But
Moustakas
what if he's
for
the
that long
best
term.
that's available?
I
at
don't
that
believe
time?
he is.
Who's
believe
better?
he is. I don't believe Mike, not for that amount of money that
Who's
I
better
think he
then?
could.
Jermaine Moustakas.
Or Magic Johnson.
What?
So you wanted an answer. I gave you one. Are you happy now?
And I see you didn't do your research.
I did not do my But I wouldn't have given it. I wouldn't have given that to Moustakas. Nevertheless, I don't think he's
How
that.
about Moustakas being
I'm
Mr.
glad
Mr.
he got
Middle of the
paid.
country? He's doing a
He
whole
really
tour.
is. He's doing the whole
He's
Midwest,
got to hit
isn't
the
he?
two Chicagos before it's all
I
said
mean, Mike
and done.
Moustakas is a fine player. I just don't think he's $64 million worth. Fine player.
Okay.
But to the Reds, yes, because the Reds need what they can get, especially offensively.
He'll overpay at times. Cardinals overpaid for Dexter Fowler. probably.
Absolutely.
So you have to go. It's the market changes each year.
Absolutely.
So you're gonna have to overpay at times to get what you want at those times. If it's not if the best isn't available in that particular year, then what do you do? I mean, people are gonna have to get paid. I'm not going to be upset when players get paid.
No, I'm never upset for when players get paid. And look, I know these owners make hand over fist when it comes to revenue. I completely agree. I just certain players, if you're telling me you only have so much in resources, how do you plan on?
Well, then
divvying
you
it up?
hold you have to hold the organizations accountable if they try to downplay that.
I agree.
Then that's
And I
that's what
have
you
in the
can do.
past when it comes
You can
to
say
the-
that's not an excuse.
Right.
then you've done something wrong to lead up to that point to have to make that decision.
And,
So that's all you do.
And I'll be honest, it's December. I don't care about, honestly, at this moment, like, we don't know what this team is going to look like. We're not, it's still a little bit
Plus,
too early.
we're
After the
coming
visit.
off an off season from last year that
Yeah.
had Bryce Harper and Manny Machado
Right.
involved with it.
And that worked out great for those two teams.
So yeah, I believe was it last year Arenado signed his extension, maybe as well. Was that
He
last
signed
year? Or
it.
the year
He
before?
signed his around January. I feel like last year.
Now
That
he
was-
does have an out clause in his.
Oh, nice.
So after I think he's got 2
Like
years
Mark
left.
Burley, Arenado's going to be a Cardinal.
Yeah.
Joe Creedy still coming back home to
Man,
Missouri.
I remember collecting his rookie cards, thinking, "Oh, I got to get me these Joe Creedy cards." It was Joe Creedy. Who else was it? The third base. Travis Fryman. I had to get me some Travis
Where's
Fryman.
Travis
card-
Fryman from?
Detroit.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about St. Louis or Missouri people.
No, I was talking specifically like
People you were interested in.
when you bring up Joe Creedy's name, it makes me think of, all right, these are going to be the next big thing.
The stars.
So I need to make sure I get their baseball cards while they're young, while I can, and that was the theory behind getting Joe Creedy cards, Travis Fryman cards back in the day, the Brian Taylor cards, the pitcher for the Yankees, those kinds of guys.
Okay.
You just made me think of that.
All right.
Riding my bike down to Grand Slam Sports on Main Street in O'Fallon. Going to the auction board, putting some cards up there myself, bidding on some. Now I'm going back to my youth. Riding by Video Gallery on my bike, hopping a hill. That hill's gone and that video gallery's gone. It is now a liquor store.
Nice. Speaking of nostalgia, I found the nostalgia and The Irishman to be incredibly impressive. I think that is one thing. I finally checked it out this weekend. And I know there's been a lot of conversation about it. I think Anna Paquin and some other actors recently spoke up about her role in the movie. The lovely and very talented Anna Paquin in The Irishman. However, she has roughly about a line
That's
throughout
it?
the entire film. It's a slow burn. It's fun. It's a fun gangster film. If you're into gangster films, you're going to really like this. What you're going to really enjoy, the person who actually stood out the most, and it wasn't De Niro and it wasn't Pacino, but it was actually Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci is phenomenal in this film. He's a little bit more of reserved, as you've been accustomed to seeing him in gangster films. But it's more menacing because you're so used to Joe Pesci being, in your face, where here he's he takes his time, and it's a very dark character for him to play. I wouldn't be surprised if he got some award love this season. But I finally finished The Irishman, and it's fine. It's fine. I can't hate on it. It's fine. If Scorsese wants to call that cinema, then so be it.
I was waiting for it.
But with the CGI and the de-aging, they do a really good job. You really look like you're looking at a young Robert De Niro,
Is
younger.
that using that kind of stuff? Is that really cinema?
Man, to each his own. To each his own. Get you some Irishman though.
I saw he said he hopes people don't watch it on their phones. Does that bother you?
No, I get it. I get what he's trying to say.
I agree with that. Like,
I
yeah,
agree.
it's probably a pretty big movie. Like a phone watches maybe something funny or news, but I saw some people giving pushback on that already.
No, I think if
Like
you want to watch,
I wouldn't want to watch it on my
I
phone.
want to watch one. First of all, you're literally craning your
3.5
neck
hours.
down for 3.5 hours. That seems miserable. But I feel like when you're watching stuff on your phone, video-wise through Netflix or your iPad, I feel like it's like a lunch break. Like, I'm just gonna catch these 25 minutes of The Office, or I feel like there are certain things that you would watch on your tablet, but other things you shouldn't. I think you shouldn't watch The Irishman on your tablets. Just watch it on your TV. You'll be fine. You're big girls and big boys. It's actually, it's a lot. It's detailed. I tell you what, when Netflix writes you a check, people use every damn dime. It's a very good looking film, I will say that. So get you some of that. And you
Yeah.
said you finished
Thanksgiving
Time in
night,
Hollywood?
watched that with my parents.
what'd you think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Be honest.
I think I'm missing something. I don't.
No, I've heard
That
people
movie-
say similar.
The actors, the director, the story. It was like that should be made for me.
Yeah.
Like I feel
That should be
really
right up your
weird
alley, yeah.
because I am missing something. I thought it was super. Like if there were. I'm only saying this because of who was involved.
Right.
I'm like, oh, there were some interesting parts. If it was just I had zero knowledge going in.
Right.
I knew what a good movie was. There were some interesting or fun twists, but fun twists don't equal a good movie. If it wasn't Brad Pitt, Leo, Quentin Tarantino, and all the fun cameos and all that good stuff, I would have said it sucked. I didn't. I'm left with my hat in my hands, going, Did I miss a point here? Was I tired? It was super slow, and
Especially
then,
in the beginning, I thought it was slow.
oh my gosh, yeah. And I don't need crazy, fast-paced, insane stuff. But for some reason, not for some reason, I didn't care for it, and I thought, if you thought that was better than like Inglourious Bastards or, I mean, any number of Tarantino films, I would question why, what is your? I'd really love to have that explained to me. The most fun part of it all was just the nostalgia piece, or be like, oh yeah, that would have happened then, or whatever. Like, I thought it was interesting, but yeah, I'm not a fan.
I didn't. I think it really is hard for me to disagree with everything you just said there. I think you're right. I wonder if Tarantino's name wasn't on it, I wonder would people be loving it as much as they were. Like it. Tarantino has a time sometimes, and who am I obviously to criticize Tarantino? But my opinion, sometimes the pacing of his films can get.
Well, I want to know.
confusing.
I would love to, and I would love to because I want to love it. I want it to be.
Yeah,
super
because it has
into
everything, like you just said, it has everything that you
Super
love
interesting
about films.
story
You love those two actors, like Leo and Brad Pitt are really fun actors who've done great roles before. You got really cool cameos, the beautiful Margot Robbie. You have Tarantino directing it. It's like everything is there. You got the nostalgia feel to it, the old classic Hollywood. It has great child actors. You're just like, okay, this should be my cup of tea, but it doesn't come together. It's like these amazing ingredients, and you're like, man, when you're finished, that's gonna be one hell of a. I don't know what you're making, but those are the kind of foods I like to eat. And then you get to it, and you're just like, I ain't gonna lie. That is not what my taste buds had in mind. And that's kind of how I felt about this film. Like, it's just like, I should not hate it because everything that goes in it is what I love about stories. But it doesn't click for me.
So you've seen it?
I have.
Yeah.
And it hurts my heart because
I'm not saying there weren't interesting parts, and I thought but these are the things that I wouldn't give anyone leeway on. To me, the most interesting thing, the most I thought during the entire movie was, man, I wonder if that's either CGI'd or if they had to shut down each part of the LA freeways to have all the old cars on them.
Yeah,
that's the thing I thought about the most. That there's a twist that I was like, oh, I like that I didn't have to see what really happened, but at the same time, yeah, really disappointed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what do you call it for when you get entertainers who get to this point where, because of the love for what they have done, carries over to their present work. I think I sort of see it sometimes in Jay-Z. I see it. There are artists that I know that people just, I think, hype up their current project because of what they've done in the past. I feel like this may be the case, but again, he's Tarantino, and that's just my stupid opinion on film. So it means nothing. So I'm sure there are a lot of people who are smarter and better than me that really enjoyed it. I'm with you, though. I think I just didn't get it.
There it is. Anything else before we get out of here, Gardner?
I think we're good.
Who do you want to shout out today, Guardsy?
Let me shout out to Sean's dad.
Oh, my goodness. This is so lovely.
My friend Sean's dad, 88 years old, got married on Saturday.
Wow.
To his lovely Donna. So I want to shout out to Sean's dad and to Sean, the best man. Tomorrow in the first hour, we can watch a video of Sean Brennan dancing at his father's wedding, his 88-year-old father's wedding. Not only dancing, but but singing a song with his two brothers as they serenade the lovely couple.
That's what it's all about. Real quick, shout out to Angela Smith, who's coming in for Dr. Ed from Hillside Animal Hospital tomorrow. We'll have her on. We'll play some dogs on film, and she'll catch us up on Hallmark Christmas films and the like. So very excited to have her in as she's on Sophie's Happiest Hour this Thursday that I expect all of you to be at right here in Grand Center.
Nice.
For Travis, did you have a shout out, Trav?
Yeah, shout out to the Calgary Flames. Discovered that their coach apparently had a history of terrible language when it comes to the race, and they did their investigation and they relieved this coach of their duties. So, hello, NHL, hello, Canadian club that decided to put the best interest of the brand in front of the very. I saw some of the things he said to one of his former players as coach. I thought it was a necessary move. And to the coach's credit, he didn't seem to lie about it. Obviously, he tried to play it down as best as one could once it's discovered that you said something racist. But he ultimately acknowledged that, yeah, I, in the moment, said some things that this person has said that I said, that it is indeed true. And everybody followed through. And life goes on.
And just like Twitter, the Vancouver Canucks head coach is a murderer, but yet stays in the league.
That's how it works, just like Twitter.
Wait,
Just
OJ's
like
on Twitter
Twitter.
and James Woods?
James Woods, out of here. OJ, good.
It's hilarious.
He's just talking fantasy football,
Just
man.
talking fantasy football. Chris got a problem with fantasy football.
The civil suit proved it. We don't have to say alleged. Oh, boy.
That's fair.
All right. Guys, tell your friends about it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're back tomorrow live at 8 a.m. See you then.
Peace.